The title of the talk is Moving from Blip to Tip, and I gave you the blip. The tip comes from a book called The Tipping Point, if any of you have read this book. And it really is a real nice examination of how do you make fads happen. You know, it's how do you have something small become the norm. And so at the heart of it, we have to start asking that question of, based on our history and where we are, how do we go beyond this point of a small percentage of people interested in a small amount of things that are going on in various sectors, and really make it the norm. But before we even do that, I think we have to at least agree on a common definition of what we mean by sustainability. The one we often will hear about comes from a 1987 report, a UN report, and that is sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. You know, one way to also think about that, and you'll hear phrases like triple bottom line sometimes, is it's really an attempt to look at how do we develop communities and a lifestyle that not only protects our natural environment, but does so in a way that allows for economic vitality. We all want jobs and want to eat, and you know, those are kind of basic human issues. And that is socially desirable, which is always the squishy one, because what's socially desirable to one person isn't to another. And that's kind of the challenge. And at the heart of that is, how do you move those three circles together? But I think an even better definition, I think for the purposes of this talk, is this one. This is a definition that you'll often see in the ecological economics literature. And that is basically that all of our human activity in the end is bounded by nature, bounded by the environment, because at some point, it's a fairly new concept in our country as a culture. Each culture is different, but the idea that nature is not limitless. You know, that there's a finite amount of resources that we all need to be able to live and survive, and to have our Wiis and drive our cars and all those sorts of things. So, you know, if you think about this idea that nature has limits and kind of keep that image in mind, our economies are man-made. They can be changed, and they may have to be changed in the end, because again, nature trumps all. There really is no way around it. We have done a really good job manipulating nature. We're the only species, you know, to be able to manipulate nature to the extent that we do. But there has to be a new way of doing things. So